Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel if you're returning. If you're new here, welcome. We are back up in Evansville today, sadly not to go to Bud's Harley-Davidson and play with a new bike, but to go to the VA. Such a lovely time. Love to go to the VA. So, like I said, lovely time. Can't recommend it highly enough to anyone. But figured a little bit different than what we usually show off, being down in Kentucky, so show off some of the lovely Evansville countryside. It is starting to get to where I probably won't be putting out too many more videos. The weather's looks like it's starting to get colder again, so I'll put them out as long as I can for this year. But otherwise, I'd have to say it's been a pretty successful year two compared to year one of me doing this. I don't know the exact number of videos I've put out, but I do believe I put out more videos, so that's always positive. Upgraded my setup a little bit, switched to a different microphone. Actually debating about during the break in the riding season getting a new camera and possibly going with a dual camera setup, like a lot of the other motovloggers do, putting one like up here to get footage of me instead of always just looking at what I'm looking at. But we'll have to wait and see how all of that pans out. I don't want to make promises saying, yeah, next year be back with 2 cameras and come back with only 1. Yeah, I don't like that. So, like I said, hopefully be able to pick a second camera up during the downtime and get it all set up and working properly. Another thing I do want to mention, I've actually, I guess you could say, started to take this a little bit serious. I have gone and set up both a Facebook and Instagram page to kind of better chronicle and relay my adventures. They are both linked off of the YouTube page. I believe it's under the About tab. I will try to remember to throw a link in the description down below. Yay, more things for me to remember to do with my fucked up memory, if you know me. See how all that works out. As far as what I'm going to be doing during the off season, this with motorcycle content, probably not going to be much coming out. Like I said, I'm going to try to record videos, so even if, let's say that the riding season does last through this month, you know, come November 1st, you can't ride anymore until, let's say, March. I'm going to try to record a bunch of videos and keep it at about the once a week upload for as long as I can, and just basically have them queued up to release. So if I stop posting all of a sudden, that'll be it. Might transition into some of the other things I have interest in, like gaming and tech and stuff during the down season. But we'll see how all that goes. I have also ordered, let me rephrase that. I am going to order today, so by the time this video goes live, we'll have ordered the equipment so that I can do more like handheld stuff too. So like go out to a cool restaurant to eat, I can record a lot easier than trying to set up my helmet and record from inside there. So that'll be a whole nother fun thing to learn how to do. I have to figure out how to carry all that gear and the best way to set it up, and just see how much of an ass I make of myself trying to record in a restaurant or something else. If I look like a pretentious douche walking around with a camera in my face everywhere, that'd be a new feeling for me. I'm not usually very pretentious, I don't think. It's not a word I've ever really heard used to describe me. But yes, going back to the Facebook and the Instagram, they are both just Pirate's Beard, spelled the same way as the YouTube channel, with a Y instead of an I in pirate. I put them up the other day, and hopefully that will start to gather some attention and make this a little bit more of a fun thing to do. Get some more people on there and get some interactions, and maybe be able to reach out to some of these other motovloggers that are, I guess, I'm trying to think of a good way to phrase it, but really active with their fan base. As an example, I'll use like Blockhead Moto and her two wheels, doing meetups and like going from like her two wheels in Ohio, went down to Florida and met up with Blockhead, and vice versa. Apparently him and some of his friends just went from Florida up to Ohio. So that could be fun, nice way to do a good little road trip. That's something I do hope to be able to start doing more next year, is doing some trips and recording them. It's really just going to depend though on how everything's open, because it would suck to try to take a trip somewhere and everything's still shut down and you're trying to find places that are accepting, whether it's for food or you have to stop for the night and sleep. Although I guess I could just throw a little camping set on the bike and say fuck it, wherever I get tired, just pull off the road and throw up a tent for the night. I don't really have any like upgrade plans for this bike over the winter, so probably not going to do much in the way of that. Although if something does come up, I will try to record as much of it as I can. I enjoy learning things like working on the bike and how to do all the upgrades. I kind of wish I had recorded more of what I've already done to this bike, like when we were doing the exhaust and switching up the front headlamp. For being in the high 60s, really wasn't that bad of a ride up here. I was expecting it to be a lot more frigid, we'll say. Seen quite a few other people out today, which is kind of surprising. It does seem like out here, once the weather starts to drop, that everyone just throws their bikes away. Just based on what I've seen, I do tend to be one of the ones that rides a little bit longer and possibly even get out a little bit earlier. But that could just be, my own bias that I see. It's one of those, you get a certain type of car and then you see them everywhere. But who knows? So we just got done up at the VA. Not as bad as I was expecting it to be. This doctor or nurse practitioner, I don't remember which one she is, that I see, she's pretty good. She seems to really know her stuff and actually care, unlike a lot of the medical professionals up here that seem to be in it just for the paycheck. But it has actually turned into a really nice day out here. Like I said earlier, it was upper 60s when I left, and it's now 75. Warm enough to where time to ditch the hoodie, because I just don't feel like sweating to death right now. But I figure while we're up here in good old Evansville, and it is early afternoon, might as well try to find something to eat. Hello, doggo. Oh, it's a cute little puppy. Hello, puppy. Half the fun of coming up here to Evansville and finding a place to eat is trying out restaurants that we just don't have down where I'm at. So it doesn't make sense to like go to Arby's or Chick-fil-A or McDonald's. I want to find somewhere that I haven't eaten in a while, or something new. I would go over to Steak and Shake, but they are currently shut down due to the whole pandemic shit. That's one thing I do love about Halloween. I don't know if it's just, the spooky kid still in me, but I've always loved hearses. I would love to find an older one. I think it was like the 1960s, the Cadillac Miller, I believe, ambulance hearses. What the Ecto-1 in Ghostbusters was made from. Always loved that style. I would love to get one of those and turn it into like a daily driver. It'd be so much fun. I'd, of course, have to get the obligatory coffin to go in the back, even if it's just to mess with people. I don't know if they're open. So, lunch was good. Been a few years since I had Chipotle. Probably since I was down in Albuquerque. But like I was saying before I stopped for lunch, love to get me a hearse, coffin and all. Be fun to scare the shit out of people with it. Although finding an older hearse like that is not as easy as one might think. Every once in a while, you know, once a year or so, I tend to jump online and see how hard they are to find, and not as many of them as you would think. And it doesn't have to be, like I said, that I think it was 60s era or design. This is what I typically think of and love the look of. I just wonder how many of those have been bought up by people over the years, making, you know, Ecto-1 replicas for Ghostbusters stuff. And although I do wonder what, like, the performance and everything on a hearse would be like, because I can't imagine at least the older ones are going to be that great for like gas mileage. Who knows? Maybe one day I'll find one and get to answer my questions on it. Hell, even taking a more modern day coach wouldn't be bad. They lack the aesthetic appeal to me as the older ones do. The older ones had a sense of style. That is the great thing about Halloween. I can have this conversation about wanting a hearse and not sound like a weirdo. Or at least not as much of a weirdo. I'm sure I always sound like a weirdo. But I guess I'll go ahead and call this video here unless something interesting happens on my ride back home. I'll catch you lot in the next one. Like I said, I'll try to remember to drop the links to the Instagram and Facebook in the description of this video below. But if you like what I say or sound of my voice or the things I show off, whatever, you know what to do. So until the next one, later.